Cognitive competence. At least sometimes we are genuinely open to true knowledge and information. In those instances, we receive new information readily. Then there is a risk of faulty information coming in, and sometimes we fall into the trap of data ambush. Data ambush is when someone overloads us with so much information that we are, in a way, forced to accept the information without the chance to think and analyze it. Sometimes we fail to understand the data. For example, if we do not know a particular statistical analysis, we tend to accept the data that is fed to us. You should remember that I am a trained bacterial molecular biologist, and every other topic I have learned through reading, YouTube, or discussions with others. I could err, implying that several aspects described in this book are critically analyzed and can be refuted. Even in the field I am trained in, I could err, and so can anybody when we reach the boundaries of our knowledge and competency. As long as we are open to new knowledge and, importantly, exercising unbiased discretion, we are all on the right path to knowledge and growth. Many times our competency fails us. For example, if I were to understand how the universe has come into existence or how something can come from nothing, it is beyond my knowledge of physics and astronomy. Also, please ask me nothing about math. Everybody has their own limitations, and that is all right. If we ought to learn something and be true to the knowledge, then working on the competencies in the field is important. Clarity of thinking, in a nutshell, is dependent on three alphabets: I, X, and N. I is the self. It is about the influences of our biases, such as wishful thinking, and also our intents. In other words, our self-interest is in why and what we are seeking. That is where most mistakes happen, and we could lose objectivity. X is about the factor that we may have missed when thinking about a thing or event. For any event, is there a factor X that is a yet unknown factor, like we use in mathematics, that might be implicated in the event, but not yet considered or missed, an unintended mistake? X implies that there is a possibility that we may have missed something that shakes the confidence with which we convey. In other words, to be open to consider and acknowledge that some unknown factors could be involved depending on the context. N is the number of samples that have a statistical significance of an event or observation. These two simple factors help me through most of the events or observations. If we can take a minute to think of I, X, and N for that task at hand, we will be able to get better knowledge. With practice, we will be able to gain speed and also be better at the craft of thinking. As we assess ourselves over and over by means of practice and reflection, we keep getting better and quicker. The quality of a person or the person's information and productivity is based on a formula. Quality equals FKPT. K is knowledge, P is practice, and T is inherent talent. Further extending this by adding the time factor, as quality product per unit time is productivity. But creativity is seldom proportional to productivity. Prof. Patrick Henry Winston, MIT.